As the First Lady of the United States, Melania Trump brought a captivating blend of grace, opulence, and refined sophistication to the role. Her preference for high-fashion pieces, ranging from dazzling couture gowns to lavish jewelry valued at over $1.5 million, reflected an unmistakable embrace of luxury and indulgence. Even her independent travels exuded extravagance, highlighted by instances such as a $174,000 expenditure on a single hotel stay, an unreserved display of her taste for life's finer offerings. While her tenure was marked by her commitment to the Be Best initiative, it was equally defined by the enigmatic allure that surrounded her, underscored by a veil of splendor and mystique. Now, Melania reemerges with renewed energy, prepared to once again command fascination and captivate attention. Let's delve into the alluringly extravagant lifestyle she embraced as First Lady. Through her first term as FLOTUS, Melania's fashion choices often sparked both curiosity and admiration. For some, her wardrobe symbolized subtle messaging, while for others, it highlighted her unapologetic embrace of luxurious designs and opulent materials that elevated her image. Throughout her time in the spotlight, courtesy of designers like Chanel, Melania delivered unforgettable moments of style, such as her strikingly elegant departure appearances. A former model with a knack for blending elegance with a touch of provocation, she also sparked controversy for her bold and unapologetically daring choices during her time as First Lady. From the controversial Zara jacket to the Texas trip following Hurricane Harvey, where she paired it with Manolo Blahnik stilettos and the pith helmet donned during her solo journey to Africa, an accessory often linked to 19th century colonialism. These style choices have been widely criticized as tone-deaf and insensitive. At the heart of Melania Trump's fashion identity is a refined simplicity, reflected in tailored skirt and jacket pairings, attention-grabbing jumpsuits, and elegant overcoats that subtly emphasize her poise. Her wardrobe stands out with shirt dresses that exude casual sophistication and lavish, curve-skimming gowns that bring an air of royalty to grand occasions. Naturally, she's rarely spotted without her trademark towering Louboutin heels, oversized dark sunglasses, and dramatic long gloves. To some, these might simply be fashionable extras, but to others, they embody a bold statement of authority, a striking display of confidence, and an undeniable air of untouchable elegance. Her go-to colors are equally restrained, favoring monochromatic shades of black and cream. However, she also explores muted tones like khaki, tan, and nude, with occasional printed pieces. For a splash of vibrancy, she gravitates toward fuchsia and red, particularly during February, adding a pop of boldness to her otherwise minimalist palette. Over the course of 4 years, her wardrobe inspirations and themes have showcased various styles, from military and equestrian elements to safari-inspired ensembles during her travels. However, her primary fashion muse has consistently been the timeless Jackie Kennedy, embodying the quintessential lady and socialite aesthetic. This influence was apparent from the beginning, as her inauguration outfit, a soft blue Ralph Lauren collection cashmere suit paired with matching gloves and heels, drew clear comparisons to Jackie's iconic ensemble at the 1961 inauguration. Since then, her style has maintained a retro flair, featuring classic two-piece suits, shawl and high-neck jackets, cigarette and wide-leg pants, and soft 1960s hues such as pastel blue, pink, and muted yellow. Additionally, she occasionally channels a blend of Audrey Hepburn and Jackie O with cropped trousers and her signature off-duty looks. During the R.S. Oshel visit to Britain, she made a lasting impression by donning a $6,990 J. Mendel gown in a Grecian-inspired design, complete with pleated details and flowing chiffon drapes. For another notable moment, she greeted Colombian President Iván Duque Marquez and First Lady Maria Juliana Ruiz Sandoval at the White House wearing a striking hot pink outfit. A fan of the vibrant shade, she opted for a $4,200 Finney houndstooth coat in bold pink, complemented by understated nude heels. For her final appearance as First Lady, it was fitting that she drew inspiration from Jackie O, opting for a look imbued with timeless elegance. Melania selected a sophisticated Chanel two-piece ensemble paired with long leather gloves, sleek Bottega Veneta shades, a crocodile Birkin bag valued at an impressive $75,000, and glossy patent Louboutin heels, each element presented in a somber black hue. Once aboard Air Force One, she transitioned out of her formal attire, trading the stark black suit for a vivid orange Gucci dress priced at $3,700, completed with Roger Vivier flats, perfect for the brighter and warmer climate awaiting her in Palm Beach. Melania Trump's fashion choices have always captivated attention, not just for their refined sophistication, but also for the underlying narratives tied to each garment. At the core of her sartorial story is her collaboration with Hervé Pierre, a skilled designer originally from France. Pierre, who has an impressive resume with prestigious fashion houses such as Oscar de la Renta and Carolina Herrera, became Melania's trusted stylist after co-creating the gown she wore for her inauguration. Together, they have cultivated a partnership that seamlessly merges artistic vision with strategic foresight, crafting a wardrobe that reflects Melania's distinctive style while navigating the complexities of public and political scrutiny. The creative process begins with Pierre meticulously curating ensembles. He discreetly visits luxury boutiques like Bergdorf Goodman, Saks Fifth Avenue, Dior, and Michael Kors in New York, often under the radar to preserve his anonymity. With an exceptional talent for detail, Pierre ensures that every item in Melania's wardrobe is not just chic, but uniquely suited to her image. He takes great care to ensure that no one else in public is seen wearing the same outfits, skillfully sidestepping any potential fashion missteps. This meticulous approach helps Melania stand out through her wardrobe choices while exuding an aura of elegance and intrigue. Though widely recognized for her career in modeling, Melania Trump has also ventured successfully into entrepreneurship. During the early 2010s, she created a jewelry collection for QVC, the popular television shopping channel. This collection featured a variety of pieces, including necklaces, bracelets, and rings, all offered at approachable price points. The items consistently sold out, reflecting their popularity. Melania revealed that designing jewelry is a true passion of hers. Speaking to Jet Set magazine, she emphasized the importance of pursuing one's passions and engaging in what brings joy. She noted that her background in architecture and design has long inspired her creative pursuits, which included sketching and bringing her jewelry ideas to life. Throughout this endeavor, Melania received steadfast encouragement from her husband. In a conversation with the New York Times, Donald Trump praised her keen design sense and remarkable intelligence, expressing his unwavering support by highlighting her talent and encouraging her to develop it further. Melania's true indulgence lies in her exquisite collection of jewelry. Among her cherished pieces is a 25-carat diamond engagement ring, which Donald purchased for a staggering $1.5 million. Yet, her tastes extend beyond accessories. Melania also treasures serene escapes, finding solace in their exclusive retreat at Mar-a-Lago, valued at $18 million. While former President Donald Trump often utilizes his time there to golf, host dignitaries, and network with influential figures, for Melania, the goal is to remain out of the spotlight. The private living spaces within Mar-a-Lago are reserved solely for her, her husband, and their son, a sanctuary she refers to as a refuge. Part of the expansive Trump orbit, the Mar-a-Lago estate spans around 20 acres along the Atlantic Ocean in Palm Beach, Florida, and houses a private family enclave that, according to someone familiar with its setup, is surprisingly understated by the family's usual standards. The suite of quarters, while elegantly appointed, is far cozier than the sprawling triplex penthouse in Trump Tower or the extensive 4 floors of the White House's executive residence. Despite its place among Florida's grandest estates, the atmosphere retains a certain intimacy. Most of the family's secured quarters connect to the broader club grounds, allowing members and their guests to explore the facilities, which include lavish dining areas, expansive outdoor spaces, tennis and croquet courts, and the beachfront club. President Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate stands as a gleaming symbol of his wealth, a vast testament to his acquisitions and a tangible display of his lifestyle. He seldom ventures away from its comforts, apart from indulging in golf at his club. Similarly, Melania Trump appears to prefer staying within the grounds as well, spending the majority of her downtime on the property. Her days there are largely spent in privacy, distancing herself from the club's general members and dedicating time to her son and her parents, Victor and Amelie Genovs, who also reside at Mar-a-Lago for a significant portion of the year. During the Christmas season, the First Lady stayed out of the public eye for 3 weeks at the estate, with only brief absences for a few days in Washington, D.C., and a surprise trip to meet U.S. troops in Iraq. She additionally left Washington in March 2019 for a spring break retreat at Mar-a-Lago. Her calendar regularly includes short stays at the property during various holidays, such as Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Easter, and Thanksgiving. Nevertheless, as is often the case with Trump, a veil of secrecy surrounds her time there. It's vaguely understood that she's away for extended periods, pursuing her personal priorities at her own pace, following her own agenda, independent of her husband's schedule or objectives. This autonomy has become a hallmark of her tenure as First Lady. During her time in this role, Melania Trump also made notable international trips, including a significant visit to Canada. This particular journey captured public and media attention. It occurred early in her tenure as First Lady, a position that entails representing the United States in diplomatic events and on the global stage. The purpose of this visit was to attend the Invictus Games, an international sporting event established by Prince Harry. The event honors the determination and abilities of wounded, ill, and injured military personnel and veterans through adaptive sports competitions. While serving as First Lady, Melania Trump attended the Invictus Games to highlight U.S. solidarity with veterans and to fortify diplomatic relations with Canada. Yet, her visit soon drew criticism due to the steep cost of her accommodations. Media reports revealed that a total of $174,000 was spent on hotel arrangements, sparking heated debates over whether such extravagant expenses were justifiable or necessary. Separate from this event, in October 2018, Melania independently traveled to Africa, making stops in Ghana, Malawi, Kenya, and Egypt. Her journey aimed to promote her Be Best campaign, which emphasizes children's well-being and to demonstrate America's commitment to humanitarian efforts abroad. The trip also sought to enhance goodwill and strengthen U.S. relations with these African countries. The final destination on her itinerary was Cairo, Egypt's bustling capital, renowned for its rich heritage and cultural landmarks such as the Giza pyramids and the Sphinx. During her time there, she visited some of Egypt's most famous historical sites and was photographed admiring their magnificence. However, attention soon shifted away from the cultural significance of her visit to the high cost associated with her brief stay. Federal expenditure records reveal that Melania Trump's hotel stay at the Semiramis Intercontinental in Cairo came with a staggering price tag of $90,050. As the current First Lady during that period, she appeared to navigate her role without immediate repercussions, all while staying closely aligned with her aspirations and personal fulfillment. Embracing her identity as a woman, Melania radiates self-assurance and an undeniable sensuality, unapologetically shaping a life that reflects her passions and priorities. Delve deeper, and you'll find how she masterfully intertwines sophistication with influence. As the First Lady from 2017 to 2021, Melania often maintained an enigmatic and reserved air, her public appearances marked by a captivating elegance and understated sensual charm. Her poised and graceful presence hinted at a deeper allure, yet her silence on various critical issues left her intentions ambiguous, fueling speculation about the extent of her influence within her husband's administration. However, her memoir dismantles this mystique, shedding light on a woman with deeply held convictions and a voice that, though rarely heard publicly, carried remarkable intensity. Her stance on polarizing topics, particularly abortion rights, unveils a multifaceted individual hidden behind her composed exterior. Within the pages of her memoir, Melania is revealed as a strikingly influential figure, her reserved demeanor contrasting sharply with the intimate and provocative nature of her beliefs, thereby challenging the perceptions commonly held during her time in the White House. Her fervent support for abortion rights starkly diverges from the typical conservative views associated with her husband's political base. The Republican Party has historically been recognized for its staunch opposition to abortion, consistently pushing for policies and laws that restrict access to reproductive health care. This conservative stance was cemented further during Donald Trump's presidency, particularly through the appointment of 3 conservative Supreme Court justices. Their influence was critical in the landmark Dobbs versus Jackson decision of 2022, which ultimately overturned Roe versus Wade. As a result, a series of strict abortion bans were enacted across Republican-led states, sparking intense nationwide debates on the issue of reproductive rights. In stark contrast to this party platform, Melania Trump's memoir highlights her unwavering belief in a woman's right to make her own reproductive choices, a conviction she professes to have maintained throughout her adult life. Her views on abortion rights not only diverge sharply from the core conservative ideology, but also underscore a profound ideological divide within the Trump family. While Donald Trump has frequently expressed his anti-abortion stance using incendiary rhetoric to galvanize his supporters, Melania's writings indicate a more thoughtful and empathetic perspective, emphasizing the importance of women's autonomy and the freedom to choose. During her term as First Lady from 2017 to 2021, Melania spearheaded the Be Best initiative, which focused on promoting children's well-being, combating cyberbullying, and addressing the opioid epidemic. Her campaign sought to educate young people on the responsible and constructive use of social media, recognizing its potential benefits while warning against its harmful effects when misused. Despite facing criticism over Donald Trump's combative and often disparaging use of social media to attack his critics, Melania committed herself to advancing her initiative with steadfast determination. She openly confronted the doubts surrounding her motives, admitting that she understood why some might question her involvement in the issue. However, she firmly insisted that such skepticism would not sway her from pursuing what she felt was the right course of action. Despite recognizing the discrepancy between her stance on cyberbullying and her husband's controversial online conduct, Melania remained steadfast in her dedication to the cause. Her unwavering support for the Be Best initiative emphasized her passion for enhancing the lives of children and her determination to address cyberbullying, regardless of external backlash. As First Lady, Melania Trump embarked on her inaugural solo trip to Africa, drawing significant global attention. The journey commenced in Ghana, a nation celebrated for its vibrant heritage and traditions, yet also grappling with hurdles in education and healthcare. This visit marked an essential milestone in her Be Best campaign, which strives to enhance the welfare of children worldwide. Greeted with warmth and enthusiasm upon landing in Ghana, she was met by local officials and children waving the flags of Ghana and the United States. Her first engagement took her to the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, focusing specifically on maternal and infant health. This visit went beyond mere ceremony, delving into the pressing healthcare issues mothers and newborns face in Ghana. A USAID-supported facility, the hospital serves as a crucial resource for countless families, offering vital healthcare services that are often a given in more developed parts of the world. Melania Trump paid a visit to the hospital's neonatal intensive care unit, where she had the opportunity to meet with both healthcare workers and new mothers. During her time there, she carefully listened as doctors described how USAID contributes to better maternal and child health outcomes through training and resource allocation. Her visit emphasized the need for international partnerships in tackling urgent healthcare challenges. Beyond health, education is a key focus of the Be Best initiative. While in Ghana, Melania Trump stopped by a local school, where she interacted with students and teachers. She observed lessons taking place and joined in discussions addressing both the successes and obstacles within the educational system. Her time at the school shed light on the vital role education plays in empowering future generations and reducing poverty. By prioritizing education, the First Lady highlighted its transformative potential to foster self-sufficiency and drive economic progress. Following her meaningful visit to Ghana, Melania Trump traveled to Malawi, a nation facing numerous educational hurdles. There, she toured Chipala Primary School, which benefits from USAID programs aimed at improving literacy rates and enhancing access to education. The atmosphere at the school was alive with energy as students eagerly anticipated the First Lady's arrival. Her appearance shone a spotlight on the pivotal role education plays in alleviating poverty and uplifting young people. Melania Trump spent her time observing students during their lessons and engaging them in discussions about their hopes and future ambitions. She showed a keen interest in the work being done by USAID to enhance literacy rates and improve educational achievements. Through her interactions with both students and teachers, she emphasized how critical it is to invest in education as a pathway towards self-reliance and economic development. The visit served as a compelling reminder of the vital influence education has on shaping not only the future of children, but also their communities. Shifting focus, Donald Trump's successful bid for a second term as president marked a significant moment. Throughout much of the campaign, Melania, who had largely stayed out of the limelight, surprised many with some enigmatic remarks. These statements traced back to a timeline that had begun months prior to the election. Donald Trump, a divisive figure in the world of American politics, launched his campaign with a pledge to restore America's greatness. The campaign was defined by unsettling rhetoric, divisive policies, and a highly energized and loyal base of followers. Melania Trump, known for her composed and reserved nature, mostly remained behind the scenes throughout the duration of the campaign. Her public appearances were infrequent and often eclipsed by her husband's larger-than-life presence. Yet, for those paying close attention, there were subtle indications of her limited awareness regarding certain aspects of the process. Behind closed doors, Melania was said to have played a role in shaping the campaign's narrative, pushing for a tone that was more inclusive and aimed at fostering unity. As Election Day drew near, the atmosphere buzzed with anticipation. Polls suggested a razor-thin margin, with many foreseeing a neck-and-neck contest between Donald Trump and his Democratic rival. The media was relentless, dissecting each action and comment made by the candidates in the frenzy leading up to the vote. In the midst of this high-stakes environment, Melania's quiet demeanor stood out and sparked intrigue. On election night, as the vote counts rolled in, it became increasingly evident that Donald Trump was on course for a decisive win. Amid the turmoil, Melania remained by her husband's side, her demeanor serene and poised. Her calm presence starkly contrasted the chaotic events unfolding around her. After the election, attention turned toward the impending transition of power. As the president-elect, Donald Trump began forming his administration and outlining plans for the country. During this transitional phase, Melania chose to break her silence, turning to social media to voice her thoughts. Unity, freedom, and prosperity were the words she shared on her social platforms, instantly capturing the attention of both the public and the press. The timing and vague nature of her message sparked a wave of interpretations and debates. To some, her words signified a plea for national harmony, urging Americans to unite despite their differences. However, others interpreted them as a gesture of support for her husband's policies, which many had criticized for fostering division. The vagueness of her statements only deepened the mystery, prompting many to reflect on their underlying significance. In the subsequent days, Melania shared a series of enigmatic posts, each unraveling another facet of the developing story. One showed an eagle gliding effortlessly above the clouds, paired with the caption, "Rising Above," hinting at themes of resilience and triumph. Another displayed a tranquil landscape accompanied by the phrase, "A New Dawn," alluding to renewal and fresh opportunities. Taken together, it's apparent that Melania has consistently gravitated toward an enigmatic yet uplifting narrative centered on self-improvement and personal transformation. Although her time as First Lady wasn't without obstacles, she has demonstrated a passionate resolve to exceed expectations in her second term. For now, the independent and self-assured First Lady is back in the spotlight. When Trump assumed the presidency in 2016, Melania opted to delay her move to the White House, remaining in New York to care for their son. Her initial reluctance to embrace the role led some to question her readiness to follow the footsteps of her predecessors. This time around, however, Melania appears determined to approach the position with a refined sense of purpose, preparing to re-enter the White House in January. Already reclaiming her title as the First Lady of Fashion, she captivates audiences with a carefully curated style that exudes both intention and a touch of unpredictability. Renowned for her sultry high heels, shimmering sequins, and a love for European luxury fashion, the 54-year-old Slovenian-born spouse of Donald Trump has carved out a niche distinct from the understated choices of previous First Ladies. Her wardrobe selections push the boundaries of convention, signaling a bold departure from the more traditional fashion playbook followed with reserved elegance by figures like Michelle Obama and Jill Biden. Steering clear of the modest ball gowns, muted outfits, and structured suits that once defined the position, Melania has ushered in a daring new chapter where contemporary, provocative designs take center stage. Each public appearance amplifies her disregard for merely adhering to expectations. Instead, she reshapes them, creating a style legacy as remarkable and distinctive as the outfits she confidently displays. Her willingness to lead this shift was unmistakably evident in her controversial 2018 appearance at the U.S.-Mexico border when she donned a Zara jacket bearing a contentious message while visiting children separated from their families. Speaking exclusively with female, stylist Lisa Tolbert highlighted Melania's fearless detour from tradition, emphasizing that the former model has consistently stayed true to her personal aesthetic despite her political role. Lisa described Melania's fashion choices as bold, authentic, and unapologetically provocative, reflecting an unwavering commitment to her individuality, even with the possibility of returning to the White House. She went on to explain that Melania's style defies expectations, sparking conversation and, on occasion, controversy, ensuring her approach remains both memorable and polarizing. In her book American Castle, Mary Shanklin noted that when Donald Trump exited the White House in January 2021, the storied Mar-a-Lago estate once again underwent a transformation, this time becoming the permanent home for Trump and his effortlessly glamorous wife, Melania. Melania, who has largely avoided the public eye since leaving OCE, made a rare appearance alongside the former president last week, marking their first public outing as a couple in 7 months. They were spotted attending a Halloween gathering at Morel Argo, their previous joint outing having taken place during an Easter brunch there on April 9th. In an interview, Shanklin described Melania as dabbling in various roles embraced by her predecessors during their time at the expansive 17-acre estate, taking inspiration from Donald's late first wife, Ivana Trump, as well as a second wife, Marla Maples. Melania appears focused on merging the social, entrepreneurial, and maternal legacies that came before her. It is reported that she spent her summers in New York and continued residing at Trump Tower in Manhattan during her early days as First Lady, ensuring her son Barron, whom she shares with Trump, could finish a school year uninterrupted. She officially moved to the White House in June 2017. According to the author, Melania has been limited in her ability to make dramatic changes to Morel-Argo due to a historic easement signed by Donald, reclassifying the estate from a residential property to a club. This decision granted the former real estate mogul access to tax benefits while generating income from the property. Rather than large-scale renovations, Shanklin observed that Melania prefers to leave her impression through subtle yet stylish touches, such as decor, color schemes, and lighting, reflecting her modeling background. While Morel-Argo has been transformed into an exclusive members-only club with guest accommodations and hotel-like features, the Trump family continues to reside in their private quarters at the estate. When questioned about Donald Trump's potential presidency, Melania Trump mentioned that her approach as a First Lady would be quite traditional, likening her envisioned role to that of figures such as Jackie Kennedy or Betty Ford. In a 1999 interview with the New York Times, she voiced her unwavering support for her then-boyfriend, saying she would stand by his side. However, once she entered the political spotlight, famously sporting her signature stilettos, Melania Trump demonstrated that her tenure as First Lady was anything but conventional. Some standout moments of her time in the position reportedly included secret recordings where she vented about criticism regarding the separation of migrant families, allegedly expressing frustration by saying the public should give her a F******ing break. Another widely scrutinized moment came when she donned a jacket with the phrase, "I really don't care, do you?" during a trip to the U.S.-Mexico border. By the end of her time in the White House, she departed with what was reportedly the lowest favorability rating for a First Lady in the history of polling. As she readied herself to potentially take up the role again, reports suggested Melania was preparing to redefine the norms and intended to act as the first part-time First Lady in the White House's modern history. In a recent conversation with Fox News, she outlined that this time around would be different, emphasizing her increased experience and broader knowledge. While First Ladies theoretically possess the freedom to shape the role as they see fit, most have typically adhered to established conventions rather than deviate from traditional expectations. The role of the First Lady, as observed, isn't constitutionally defined and finds no reference in the 237-year-old U.S. Constitution. A First Lady's decision on what to undertake or intentionally avoid often reflects societal expectations tied to the position. According to Tammy Vigil, a biographer of a former First Lady, the position is entirely shaped by cultural ideals that dictate the First Lady embodies a model of American womanhood. In what was cited as a clear statement of her intentions, an Amer-Lago insider shared with the New York Post that Mrs. Trump planned to navigate her duties on her own terms. Reports suggested she would skip traditional social events like ladies' teas, opt for maintaining a low profile, and significantly minimize media appearances, potentially avoiding interviews altogether. Now, the First Lady has made a return, exuding an energy that speaks of personal transformation and growth since her earlier time in the role. Her determination seems more resolute. Her dedication to service is increasingly tangible, as she appears to have openly embraced the lessons learned from her past. Her aim is unmistakable: to foster deeper connections, serve with greater intimacy, and leave a lasting impact on the individuals she represents. If you found this video enjoyable, feel free to click on one of the cards displayed on your screen for additional content.